Well, welcome to Durham Election 2010. Doug Anderson, that's his website. Garth Riley here, host of the local talk show that we do on the internet. It goes worldwide, global, and perhaps even to the next room. That's how big we are. But anyways, Doug, we've had candidates. This is our third round of candidates coming through. Talk about the environmental issues. For people just tuning in right now, quickly, what is your website about? Why did you start it, and what did you hope to achieve?
Well, basically, I've run in previous elections, and I rather than run again and lose again, I figured I'd change my strategy and try and get some other candidates that were deserved to win into office. And one of the strategies that I was to separate the good guys from the bad guys, and my issue is the environment. And so I created a questionnaire which 130 odd candidates have answered. And all their answers are posted on the website durhamelection2010.ca.
So a lot of the people answered, and we've put out the call, made an opportunity to do this for social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. This will be mounted on YouTube almost within 24 hours of the time that we shoot it. And Doug, we have some guests here today that are here to talk about some of the environmental issues and other political issues that you think are important. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to introduce them. I'm going to give you the mic. I'm actually going to give you the mic.
Give me the mic.
I'm going to let you hold the mic.
You're going to let me wave it around,
are you? That's right. Hey, Doug Anderson's way of doing microphone work. Watch this.
There we go. On the right of the screen is Jeremy Woodcock.
That'd be the left, actually, if their customers look. Yeah.
You're right. Yes.
Thank you.
They get turned
Thank
around.
you.
That's right. Yeah.
Left wing, right wing. That's what it's all
right,
about.
their left.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Jeremy Woodcock. He's running for mayor in Clarington.
Okay.
In the middle of the group there is Kevin Brady, and he's running for regional and city council in Oshawa. And on
Far right.
The far right
Yeah.
is
Good
Mike
job.
Kalynko, who is running for local council.
He's got a really cool car.
Yes, I saw that car. Yeah, in Oshawa as well. So I suppose a good place to start would be to just get a quick rundown on sort of why you guys are running, why you think they think you are are better than the other guys.
Why should we elect you?
Yeah, right. Why should we elect you?
Let's
Right.
kind of
Yeah,
just
yeah,
say it.
right, yeah. Jeremy, you go ahead.
Thank you, Doug. My personal belief is you run for office to try and make a difference, in your community, and by doing that, you have to lobby, you have to communicate with the community, lobby at the region, provincial, federal officials, and if you don't like the way things are, you don't like how things are processing and going, you gotta lobby. You gotta lobby and get everyone on board and make a difference. And that's what I've been doing, and I intend on doing that in the next 4 years.
Oh, cool.
Okay, Kevin?
I think the prime driver for me was economic development. Although my business is in the environmental sciences area, my first passion is economics. And I've worked with regional economic development for over 20 years. I believe I have a lot more that I could bring to the table, and I think that one of the primary motivations for me was to try and bring economic development within the region to a cooperative effort and to get all of the municipalities firing on the same cylinders at the same time.
Well, you
so that
have
we
been
could
damn near second coming of something, wouldn't you? To make that
just
happen?
about,
Okay.
just about.
If you've watched the previous videos, we've had some discussions about economic development.
Right. So, and, yeah.
And the key, I think, for the region, there are several key drivers, but we need to attract more medium-sized companies, and that will enable people who live in the region be able to get a job in the region rather than having to commute to Toronto. That'll reduce our carbon footprint tremendously.
You're not running for prime minister, man. You're running for local.
I understand that.
Okay, let's go. Mike.
I was in City Hall one day and trying to do some things for AutoFest and a couple other events I was looking after. And one counselor said to me, if you don't like what we're doing, do something about it. And I said, that's right, I will. That was on the 28th of March. I went upstairs and I registered and never looked back.
That was it.
That was it.
Ticked you off.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes,
Very good. A question that is on the minds of most voters at some point or another.
I'll help you with the mic.
You're going to help me with
Because
it.
you just keep doing
I
this.
just
The
wait
audio
on
girl,
that.
Kathy who runs it, she's like, okay, Doug's on the show. All right, go ahead.
Most of the, as you all know, and I'm sure you've seen it at the doorsteps, et cetera, there's a lot of sort of anger out there. There's a lot of frustration on the part of voters, et cetera. And most of them basically look at politicians and say, you're not trustworthy. Those things you're telling me are probably lies anyway, and you're not going to implement anything you say anyway. So that's the environment in which you're running. So I think the question is, how are you going to change that environment? And how are you going to try and maintain a meaningful contact with voters once you're elected?
All right, who wants to jump on that one?
I'd like
Free
to
for all.
jump on that one.
All right, Kevin.
One of my major platform issues is this very subject, and what I have proposed to the people in Oshawa is that I want to institute regularly scheduled neighborhood meetings. Above the family, the neighborhood is the social unit that we all live and operate in. And a lot of the people that I've talked to feel that there's a disconnect between them and City Hall.
Let me throw this out though. With like in Ajax, like 23% of the people voting, 24% of and really the municipal numbers are dismal. That's why an incumbent doesn't want to come on the show.
Yes.
Because they figure why mess up what may already work. They don't value social media. They and I sort of, this is kind of the flavor of these interviews, is that it's great. It's a great idea to do that. The question is, how the heck are you going to engage people that are disenfranchised? I mean, how do we get people to be a part of it? Let's just open that up. It's a great idea. I think we all agree we need to do that because we all believe in community. What innovation are you going to bring to actually get someone who's apathetic to actually give a rip?
I've actually started, because when I go door knocking, I go through the community first, and I pick in an area where I see usually there's a head person that everybody congregates around. And I'll go in and I'll bring hot dogs or pop and water, and I'll say, look, let's sit down and talk. And that's happened, and I've gotten extremely good response.
It's interesting, actually, in social media, it's called finding the opinion shapers. And when you find the opinion shapers, they are the ones that disseminate the message down the road. Very strategic. If you use it you're using it in a very tactical way. When you use it in social media like Obama did, which is the modeling that a lot of people have started to look at and have been for a number of years now, is that he got the message to the people that had the local pulpits, and then they sent it all down. Jeremy, here you are running for mayor.
Yeah.
Why didn't you pick a bigger position? But it's a tough thing for you to get into, really when you think about it, because that's not a starter position. But we're going to hear from you. What's your idea of trying to get people to be engaged, to get them to speak, so that we can get the voice versus what we think we're getting?
Well, like I said a few minutes ago, it's about making a difference and reaching out to people. And prime example is back in May, when I registered in January, I learned that we couldn't rent out halls or the town hall to engage with the public. And I thought, oh, this isn't very good. How are we going to reach out to the community?
If we can't use the facilities
Yeah,
that the
so-
taxpayers have paid for,
Exactly.
that actually and allows the democratic system says that we should have
Right.
equal and fair access. All right, keep going. What'd you do?
So I lobbied in May. I got in front of council and Clarington Council, and they didn't take no action on it. And then just recently, Monday night, two candidates felt the same way. Here we are a few months later, and council turned a new leaf. They passed it. So as of this week, it's open doors for the public, which I think is going to be a good opportunity for people to come out and engage during the week, not just on council.
Well, it's interesting
night.
you're doing that Clarington, Doug. Clarington, because what's happened in Oshawa is with 450 you guys running to try where y'all gonna meet, and we don't have to do the same thing there. Listen, we're gonna go to break. We'll be right back with more questions. Doug Anderson's here from Durham Election 2010. The website's up and running, and we'll be back with our candidates to hear a little bit more about what they think should be done and how they're going to do it. Stay with us.